Hey there everyone, thanks so much for tuning in to another video installment at mattsmemos.com, and I'm excited to do the very first one here from our brand new office here in Folsom. Now, the last video post I did, I explained the troubles that were ahead for our real estate market as 30-year rates were over 7% for the first time in 20 years. Homes were becoming increasingly unaffordable as those high rates and high home values were squeezing a lot of would-be buyers out of the market. Now, thankfully today, I'm here to report that balance has started to be restored back in our market as rates and home values have receded, meaning there's now hope for the market with rates now returning to a stable 6%. So today I want to walk you through some of those points to see how today's market affordability is back in line with historical norms and why, if you're a buyer, you should be getting excited for a home purchase here in 2023. But first, a little history lesson. So this is 30-year mortgage rates over the last 7 or 8 months. You can see we had an awful summer last year. With every single inflation report that came in, it seemed like there was no end in sight. This was at every monthly inflation report called the CPI, the Consumer Price Index. Rates would just take one step up and it seemed like there was no end in sight. We capped out at almost 7.5%, down from 5 in a little over 2 months. And that's when I did this, my last post, saying, hey, affordability is a big issue. I compared how 2022 August was actually less affordable for a home buyer at 57% of their monthly income going to a housing payment compared to 20 years ago, the last time when rates were at 7%, but also compared to the last peak that we saw in the real estate cycle in August of 2005. So something clearly had to give, and my prediction at the time was that either home values would have to drop or interest rates would have to drop. Well, the reality is, as I had predicted, is both have dropped. These were numbers shared at the last video if you want to watch that. Thankfully, since the market peaked with rates near 7.5%, we've now seen inflation readings come in lower than expected. So home values have also been dropping approximately 2 to 3% per month since this peak that we saw in May in most areas. This is for Sacramento County in particular, but you can see we were approaching 600,000 and now we're under 500,000. So affordability is back in line for the average home buyer in most areas of California. This report is particularly in Sacramento County. Something also important to note is that the U.S. Census Bureau has updated the income statistics for our region. Inflation affects everything, including people's income, and that has been adjusted as well. So affordability is back in line now with December 22 numbers showing this crazy high number in the 50s of a percentage of income going to a housing payment for an average buyer buying an average house is now down to 44%. This was kind of our target that I had talked about in the last video that would require things to be a little bit more back in balance. So if you are a buyer, you need to be getting ready for this market bottom that we're experiencing now and getting pre-approved, finding areas where you want to be looking in. Sellers are starting to panic too. The average seller is taking 6 weeks to sell their house. The average seller is taking 6% off of their asking price. And with rates back in the 6s, that means as a buyer, you literally have this jackpot scenario where all of the stars are aligning with things in your favor, with 6 weeks to sell, 6% discount off listing prices, and 6% interest rates. So be sure that you reach out to me and my team in the near future if you are serious about buying a house in this new buyer's market. I mean, our team, we have been doing this a long time in our region. We've won a number of awards and recognitions for helping buyers. So from a pre-approval standpoint to finding the house to negotiating the deal, we're here to help you from step A all the way to getting your keys at closing. Thanks so much for watching this all the way through, and I look forward to hearing from you with any questions that you have about being a buyer in this market. All right, we'll be in touch. Bye.